Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. If you're new, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. How you doing? We had a great rally last night, late last night, with the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, with the endorsement of Kristi Noem. That was amazing. I watched that speech this morning again, and it's just a great, exciting moment. It's amazing. I loved when President Trump, and I'm sure you guys noticed this, everybody had to notice this, when President Trump walked out after Kristi Noem's endorsement, all these people that were wearing T-shirts with the mugshot on them, it was awesome and beautiful, and of course, just a great event. And that speech went on like over 2 hours. It was a long time. It flew by, but I didn't realize how long it was until I saw some news stories talking about how long the speech was. And you see President Trump come out at any event, but this one last night. I mean, think about after everything he's been through, right? New York, right? They indict and arrest him in New York with the Soros prosecutor up there, Bragg. They indict and arrest him in Miami in this. They indict and arrest him in D.C. And then, of course, in Fulton County, Georgia, we've got the Trump 19 where they get the mugshot of President Trump. And he's still not just popular, he's more popular than he's ever been. And these people on the left, they'll in these never Trumpers and the Uniparty, they don't understand this movement. And, I got a call from a guy on yesterday's live stream, and he was, when's Biden going to go to jail for everything he's doing? And I said, you may have heard this call. And I said, Biden's not going to jail. And he got upset. He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I said, he's a Democrat. And he said, yeah, but we know about all these crimes he's done. Comer's got the goods. And I said, Democrats are like James Bond. They have a license to commit any crime they want to commit. And the reason they get away with it, because a lot of people, well, why is there a double standard with Democrats and Republicans? Why do Republicans get arrested, charged, and look at Peter Navarro this week, go to jail like some have done when they've done nothing wrong, but Democrats commit all these crimes and get away with it? Well, the double standard is there because they've got the uniparty behind them, and they've got the media running cover for them all the time and don't get narratives going about these true criminal stories of Democrats. There's other reasons too, but those are the big things. And the media, of course, is always against Republicans, but in particular against President Trump. And they don't understand this movement. And President Trump in South Dakota, I almost said North Dakota, in South Dakota, he said he said something and talked about something that I talk about all the time. And he says this is the greatest political movement of our lifetime. And I would say yes. In fact, the MAGA movement is the largest political movement, I believe, in American history. And it's the greatest political movement, no doubt, in any of our lifetimes and beyond. It really, truly is. And what President Trump is, I say this so much, and I think people are starting to understand this other than me, is that President Trump is a civil rights leader. You cannot say that enough. He's a civil rights leader. And this is the largest civil rights movement in the history of this country, the MAGA movement, led by President Trump, because he's leading all the American people to freedom from tyranny, media oppression, government oppression. And that's just the way it is. And all of this legal oppression that he's going through now, the Trump 19, all these different court cases, this is like when they used to put the Freedom Riders and Martin Luther King in jail in this country, who would go sit at the lunch counter or the wrong part of the bus. Democrats are always very comfortable putting people fighting for the constitutional rights in jail. That's how Democrats roll. And that's what they're doing. So this rally in South Dakota last night was just a spectacular rally. And I've got some stories that I want to go through involving the rally and a whole bunch of other things on the stream here. But anytime I live stream, I'm taking calls. So you can call me live on the stream The number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're watching, and that is the same number that I use on all of my live streams for phone calls, 1-888-465-2631. And I'm going through the news as I'm listening to the rally this morning, and NBC News is trying to start this narrative. Trump allies urge a wake-up call for his lagging Iowa campaign operation. What the hell are they talking about? You know, DeSantis, my governor here in Florida, this Ron DeSanctimonious traitor that we have as governor, I don't even know if he lives in Florida anymore. He spends all of his time, it seems, in Iowa. And we saw a couple weeks ago the reception that President Trump got at the Iowa State Fair compared to all these other candidates. Everywhere DeSantis went, he was being booed. And Trump comes in there and he walked through the fair like he was the boss, through the livestock area and everything. And NBC News, yeah, I know what you're saying. Oh, that's NBC News. This story, this is how the fake news, liberal, corporate, establishment media operate. This story is complete BS, but they're still running it as if it's true. I'm going to read through some of it. And they're trying to get this false narrative going. You know, and remember, in the last poll they just did, Trump was at 59 and DeSantis was in second place at 13. Look at this. Trump allies urge a wake-up call for his lagging Iowa campaign operation. As the stretch run to the Iowa caucuses begins, Trump's polling lead belies a small campaign organization getting outstripped by rivals. I don't even know what that means. Do you guys know what that means? A number of Donald Trump's allies are growing concerned that his lead in Iowa's first-in-the-nation caucuses isn't built to last. What the hell are they talking about here? Didn't they see the Iowa State Fair? What do you mean it's not built to last? Trump supporters, let me read this. Trump supporters are trying to beef up the campaign's lean Iowa operation with more experienced hires. They're scrambling to fill roles handling regional political work around the state. Jobs that should have been filled 6 to 8 months ago, according to one Republican operative in Iowa. Who's that operative? Some old Jeb Bush, Karl Rove employee? They're preparing for months of battle against Republican presidential opponents who trail badly in the polls, but have built better machinery to find and secure votes. See what you're saying? They have an operation to drive people to the polls, I guess. According to interviews with a dozen sources, including long-time campaign allies of Trump, state and local officials in Iowa, and GOP strategists. Notice no names. No name. Who are these Trump allies that think that Trump's in trouble in Iowa? Does anyone buy that? The fretting extends over to the Trump's own family members. One Trump-supporting source who has worked in Iowa, who spoke out in an effort to spur change in the campaign, described a phone call with Don Jr., in which he worried about a lack of experience on the campaign's Iowa team and said multiple times that they need an adult in the room. Now, Don Jr. has his own show on Rumble. He's very vocal on all his socials. And if Don Jr. thinks we need to get moving on something, he's not afraid to get on Rumble or Twitter or True Social or Instagram or all of them and tell us, hey, we gotta get a little more organized in Iowa. I don't buy any of these quotes. Do you guys? Trump Jr. was concerned that they're running from behind. How could you say they're running from behind? Everywhere DeSantis, who's in second place by far in Iowa, everywhere DeSantis went, he got booed. This is NBC News, so, you know, it's the source. Trump Jr. was... I like how they're quoting Trump Jr. They have an anonymous source, they don't tell you who they are, who says they had a phone call with Don Jr., and Don Jr. told him all these things, so they put the statements that this guy claims Don Jr. gave to him and put them in quotation marks as if they've got quotes from Don Jr., which they don't. But anyway, NBC here. Trump Jr. was concerned that they're running from behind in getting things going, and that there's concern about that at the highest levels, the source said, adding that they were giving Florida Governor Ron DeSantis too many opportunities. What, to get booed? In response, Trump Jr. told NBC, as usual, this is 100% fake news. in what is likely the last breath from the dying Ron DeSanctimonious campaign. See? They got Don Jr. finally in there with a real quote who says this story is complete BS. The stakes are clear if Trump wins the first contest of 2024, where he starts with a strong polling lead in what was one of his weaker states in 2016. His rivals may not be able to stop him steamrolling through the rest of the nominating process. See, now this is what DeSanctimonious is counting on. DeSanctimonious, one of the mistakes, Ron DeSantis has made nothing but mistakes. I hear Kristi Noem, she's not running. She came out and endorsed President Trump, and then we got this screw-up Ron DeSantis, who everybody liked. Come on. All of the MAGA world loved Ron DeSantis, and then he went out and screwed us, and he betrayed Trump when that first indictment came in out of New York, and then he started running. I mean, he's just a screw-up, Ron DeSantis. Okay? But the people that are running his campaign, he's running a similar type of campaign that Hillary Clinton did back in 2016. And what I mean by that is they have these old-timers from the old guard running the campaign that are running a campaign like it's in the 90s. You know, the Bush people, the Karl Rove people. They're running a campaign from the late 90s, early 2000s, before you got the modern media that we all have right now. So, this is par for the course. But they're running a very out-of-date style of campaign. And, of course, Donald Trump's the most popular Republican in the history of the Republican Party. Let's see. Do we have anything else here? Let's see here. This is a little bit about DeSantis. Both men, they're talking about Trump and DeSantis. Now, first of all, I'll take the call. Hold on, caller. For them to talk about DeSantis in the same breath, like he is a rival of equal measure to Donald Trump, is absurd. Trump's at 59, DeSantis is at 13. That's not a competition. Hey, caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Lisa in Texas.
Hey, Lisa. Good morning.
And good morning. I missed the darn rally last night. I had to go to the hospital. And,
oh no, you okay?
Yeah, I'm better. I was eating salmon, got a bone stuck on my throat, but
oh my goodness.
First time that ever happened.
Wow,
I know,
you're eating
scary.
salmon and you got a fish bone in your throat? Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That's
it was
nuts.
horrible. That's nuts. But listen,
Oh,
I'm off tomorrow, so I've got to work today. But I'm going to watch it on Rumble on Sunday, probably twice too. And
Right Side still has the speech
live.
up on Right Side still has the speech up on YouTube. That's where I watched it again this morning.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. Because I would definitely want to see Kristi Noem endorsing him after she kind of threw him under the bus a little earlier this year.
What did she say?
So,
I'd forgotten what she said earlier this year. What did Kristi Noem say earlier?
Oh gosh,
Does anyone remember? I forget.
Was trying to Yeah, it was kind of like we need a fresher, newer.
Oh yeah, she
approach.
was. Yeah, she was in that younger. We need someone younger and all this stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, I
remember that now.
Because
Yeah,
I
you're right.
really, I think that Abbott now, Greg Abbott, he's a never Trumper. So I didn't know if he knew that, but he's part of the Rhino group.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll never be VP if asked. And it's either going to be MTG or maybe you're like Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, maybe. I don't know. But
Well, Kristi Noem, they have term limits in South Dakota, so this is it. She's going to be term limited out in 26, I believe I read this morning. So she's got, she wants to have a job after that. So I think she's at the top of the list as of today, but that could change tomorrow.
Yes, that could change. And then, I think even the Democrats are starting to realize this is a movement and not just a popular guy,
Yeah.
That we are in a fight for our lives, and all the old rules are going out the window here, and we're not moving. We are.
You know what it is. I mean, people have realized that we're living in tyranny. I mean, look at this story, which seems like a small story, but it's not. With Liberty Safe this week, where Liberty Safe has the combination everyone's safe, and they gave it to the feds and all this stuff. That's not an isolated event. What we're finding out is that we're living in a tyrant government that has a very strong hand over everything we do and say and our movements, and they monitor us and they debank people and they, and they do all this stuff, and we've all grown up believing that this was a free country, and we found out we're living in the Soviet Union in the 1950s under Stalin, and Trump's leading us to freedom from that.
Correct. We have the appearance of freedom with all the different cereals we can choose from, but
yes.
But in real life, we are being completely suppressed if you do not agree with the one-party rule.
That's correct.
And that's become very obvious. And I have more and more people who have always voted Democrat whispering to me at my job, I'm not voting Democrat anymore.
Good.
I mean, people are getting vocal at my grocery store about, the state that we're in, and I'm so glad to hear it. And so that's very encouraging.
Absolutely.
But it's a big fight. We are up against tough, crooked, powerful people, and it's going to be a long, tough fight to get things back.
What Donald Trump is doing, this campaign is like when the Berlin Wall came down. It's that big.
Yes.
And I don't. I got goosebumps when I said it because that Berlin Wall thing just kind of came in my mind as you were talking, and I don't think people outside of the MAGA movement understand what the movement's all about. Which you said right. This isn't just okay. We like this guy and think he's cool. This is this is a campaign for the future freedom of our country. We realized Donald Trump woke us up out of the matrix that we're living in a dictatorship.
Yeah, isn't that art? Imitating life now, life imitating art. It's so bizarre, and the people that are waking up, it's like when they wake up, it's just such a shift for them at first, and it's tough at first. A lot of people I know start crying when they realize where we're at.
Absolutely, it's scary.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you survived the chicken bone.
Yes,
that's not funny. People die like that all the time.
Oh, let me tell you, when I couldn't get it out, I told my husband. I said, he goes, "Honey, are you going to be okay?" And I said, "No, get dressed. We're going to the emergency room."
Well, you got a good husband. He saved your
life. I
life.
barely talk,
All right, take care.
Yep,
you sound
did.
fine. All right, take care. Lisa in Texas. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Montana Mark.
Hey, Mark. What's up?
That was such an impressive rally last night. It gave me the goosebumps. But
oh, yeah. Good one.
One thing I really respect about Trump, and he talks about it, is no matter who the president is, he always respects the president's office.
Yes.
But last night he said America is going down the drain so bad that
it's true.
He doesn't usually talk this way, but he brings out the truth about the Democrats and the Bidens. But he has respect for everybody, even if he doesn't like them, and it's really impressive.
Well, when you see when you look at Trump and then you look at the Uniparty, everything the Uniparty is doing, I mean, obviously some of it's against Trump because they've arrested him 4 times, got the mugshot, but most of what they're doing are going after the voters who are voting wrong in their mind, who vote for Trump, who support Trump, MAGA people like the Liberty Safe I just mentioned, or J6 people. And they're going after Americans because they're supporting the wrong candidate that the Uniparty doesn't think you should be supporting. You never hear President Trump attack voters, regardless of their political affiliation. Never. Never does it.
And it's really sad even hearing billing some of my friends and people, when you say the word Trump, they come at you like a venomous snake.
Oh, yeah.
But I look forward to watching that football game today that Trump
in Iowa?
is going to go to.
In Iowa?
Yes.
Oh, they're going to go nuts.
Yeah.
I'm going through this article. NBC thinks that Trump's in trouble in Iowa with this false narrative. Let's see the reaction. I don't know if they're going to show us on television the reaction of the crowd when President Trump comes into the football game.
Yeah. but I've seen him at other sport events, and it's like the whole stadium
Of
just
course.
goes crazy.
Because,
but,
and they will today.
I appreciate your newscasts and what you do, Brian.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a nice day.
All right, you take care. Yeah. Now, when I'm live streaming and taking calls, you can call no matter where you are listening, all right, or watching. The number's toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Same number I used during the week, right? 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And if you'd like to support my content, there's a lot of great ways to do that, but one of them is to go to mypillow.com and use my promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy something. You know, you can use my promo code KANE on all of the specials you see at mypillow.com. Like right now, the 6-piece towel set, I've been talking about this a lot. There's some new colors in, and the MyPillow 6-piece towel set was out of stock for a while because they're so good. People were buying them up faster than they expected, but they're all back in stock with some new colors. They're just $39.99, which is half off with my promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And if you've watched me over the past week or so, you've heard me talk about this. Last weekend, when I was about to live stream, right before the stream, I came into this room from the hallway, and I had a big tall cup of coffee about this tall, and I bumped into the wall and dropped the coffee all over the floor. And it's right outside of our guest bathroom. So I reached in the bathroom and grabbed the first thing I could find because there was coffee everywhere. And I had to live stream in like a minute. And I grabbed my MyPillow towel, and I grabbed the white one because we had the white one. You see the white one right there in the middle. And I just dropped the MyPillow towel over the coffee, which had cream in it. So it was like a tan color. It picked everything up like a paper towel. It absorbed it. I couldn't believe almost immediately. I was hurrying because the coffee was spreading. We have a tile floor. It was heading towards our bedroom. I picked up the towel. The floor was bone dry. The white towel was tan in color now because it had absorbed the coffee, but it absorbed all of it. It was like a Bounty paper towel commercial. And I walked it into the garage where our laundry room is, and the towel was so good, it absorbed everything, and nothing dripped on that towel as I walked completely through the house. I've never seen anything like it. And, of course, I was worried, oh, man, it's going to stain my MyPillow towel. Well, I washed and dried the towel, and it looks as good as new, just like that in the picture. So the MyPillow towels are amazing. They're towels like you've never had before. Never. They actually work, as Mike Lindell says, and absorbs everything. They're half off, just $39.99. They come in all these great colors with my promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And remember, every time you use my promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com, you're supporting all my content. So I'd appreciate that. All right, guys? Thanks so much. Yeah, so let me get back to this article. So this is a false narrative that NBC is trying to promote, that Trump's in trouble in Iowa. Well, let's find out when he's at the football game, right, today, right? I think the crowd's going to go wild. Now, they may try to suppress that. Does anyone know who has the rights to carry that game? Is it NBC Sports? They're not going to want us to see it. Back to this article. Look at this. Trump's diminished presence. The 2024 version of Trump has advantages over that the 2016 version did not. Coming into this race as a former president with rabid support among a large portion of his party, instead of starting from scratch as a self-funding outsider. But data also shows a stark difference between Trump's 16 and 24 campaigns in Iowa. In the 2016 primary, Trump called this stretch of the campaign the summer of Trump in Iowa. He had visited the state at least 10 times, traveling to Des Moines for the first rally hours after unveiling his campaign at Trump Tower. He returned to the state for a second rally weeks later, stopping in Oskaloosa. Is that how you say it, Oskaloosa? This time around, he's visited just 6 times, 2 of those visits being town halls with Fox News host Sean Hannity. Instead, Trump has left it to his campaign to establish a physical presence in the state, and it has been lacking, NBC says, which I say is complete BS because I saw him at the fair. We'll see him at the football game today. They're not laying the groundwork well enough to feel secure going into the end of December as Trump deals with scheduled trials and other legal issues, as well as the January 15th caucuses approaching says a source familiar with the campaign. Who is an insider in Trump's orbit that's talking to NBC News and giving them insider information? This is the Uniparty working and the Ron DeSantis people. And notice how their whole strategy here is set around all of these court cases. Okay, look at this. I know there's an operation. I'm hearing there's something going on, but it's hard to see. It says a former Trump advisor in Iowa. Well, who's this former Trump advisor? Right? Do they even exist? And if they do, why are they a former Trump advisor? Exactly. And it goes on. But listen, don't let them get you down. Don't believe their false narratives, because we're winning, they're losing, they're in a complete panic, and they've got this senile, corrupt old coot who they're about to put the screws to and forced to resign, Joe Biden. And I want to play some of this audio. Oh, let me cue this up before I... Hold on a second, guys. Let me get this going here. And then I'll show this to you. Hold on a second here. There's something coming out soon on Biden. What it is exactly, we don't know. Now, Greg Kelly had made a mention about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and what Greg Kelly had said is that there's a tape, and he wasn't sure if it was video or audio, but Greg Kelly said that there is a tape, and on that tape, there is something that's going to force Biden to resign, or in the very least, announce he's not running for re-election. And he says he has very good sources who have shared this with him. And there was this whole day, the day before yesterday, on CNN. CNN did something they've never done before. They spent an entire day bashing the sitting Democrat president, Biden. They don't do that. CNN is in the business of helping Democrats, not telling the truth and bashing them, okay? And I'm not going to play all of them, but I'm just going to start with this one. And this is Dana Bash.
Today on Inside Politics, there is no way to spin this. CNN reads the country's mood right now and finds that America is deeply unhappy with Joe Biden. Most Democratic voters hope for a change at the top of the ticket, and Americans don't take the president at his word when he talks about his son, Hunter.
Okay, so here, you got to think about this. This is CNN's Dana Bash. She said he's not popular. Most Americans don't think he's popular, and they think he's a liar. And I know a lot of you may say, well, that's true. We all know that. But this is CNN. CNN doesn't talk this way about Democrats that are running for president or the sitting president, all right? They don't. So this Greg Kelly tape is true. It must exist because of the crazy reaction. And this went on all day on CNN. It wasn't just Dana Bash. It was Van Jones, James Carville, and many others throughout the day saying very similar things about Joe Biden. And what their plan is to go to him to force him either out or to announce he's not going to run. And I'll tell you this, he's not going to do either one. Joe Biden has been doing crimes the entire time he's been in Washington. So he's a 50-year career criminal. And you know what? He not only has he gotten away with every crime, he's intensified the level of his criminality and made himself and his family millionaires many times over doing it. He's fearless. And how do you get someone like him to go and resign? How do you do that? What do they have? If they went to Joe Biden and said, we've got this tape, you got to resign or announce you're not going to run, he's going to say, F you, get the hell out of here. You can't make someone not run. You can't make someone resign. And I've heard some people talking about this. They say, well, they'll impeach him. With all the impeachments we've had, Bill Clinton to now, and then, of course, before Bill Clinton, the other one was Andrew Johnson, who was Lincoln's vice president, who became president after the Democrat actor John Wilkes Booth assassinated Lincoln. And that's right, John Wilkes Booth was a Democrat. Lincoln was a Republican. Don't forget that. But no president has been removed in the impeachment trial in the Senate. The bar is too high. So I don't know what they've got. It's got to be serious. It's got to be more than just a bribe. Everybody knows he takes bribes. It's got to be something more serious than a bribe. I don't know what it is, Okay, it doesn't matter. But he's not resigning, and what are they going to use against him? He does not care about his kids. If they threaten to put Hunter in jail, he wouldn't care. He'll pardon them. He'll pardon them. He'll pardon everyone in his family and himself, including, by the way, the First Lady, who can't walk in high heels, Jill Biden. Have you guys ever noticed Jill Biden cannot walk in high heels? She walks in high heels like Scott Bakula in an episode of Quantum Leap walking in high heels. It's very bizarre. But he'll pardon everyone. He is not going to resign. That's just not his way, and you can't make him. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Berta from Texas.
Hey, Berta, what's up?
Listen, the way you're talking about, I know exactly what they're talking about. Trish Reagan talked about it. CNN is already, how we say in Spanish, they're making the bed. It's about Hunter Biden is in so deep that he's been bringing prostitutes across the border of states. That it's called, quote unquote, trafficking.
Yeah, sex trafficking.
So,
Marjorie Taylor Greene has talked about this. When you bring prostitutes.
But they got tapes of Joe Biden making. What is it like money, trying to make money or something? They got him on tape also, President Biden.
So you think Biden would resign over that? Why? Why do you think he'd resign over that? He's as scummy as it gets.
I know, but you know how big Americans are. It doesn't matter, Democrat or Republicans, about the sex trafficking thing. You mentioned sex trafficking.
What are you talking about? The Sound of Freedom. They won't even play that movie. Look how they went after the Sound of Freedom. They don't care about. They
went after it, but yet it was the first movie in I think a year that made a lot of money. More than other woke Disney movies. It made more than all the other ones.
That's true.
But for one thing is, I think this is going to catch Biden on its tracks, because this is serious business, and the American people, anything that has to do with children, because the thing is, Brian, Trish Reagan says that some of these individuals are underage.
I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me.
And I wouldn't be surprised either, because.
But Biden doesn't care. Biden will just pardon Hunter.
Exactly, but if Biden's involved in actually doing the negotiations for sex trafficking, is another story. If they have him on tape for that, if they really have him on tape for that, and they expose that, that'll be a different issue, I think.
I would like to think. I would like to think that. Okay, but Biden is not a normal person. He is criminally insane. And he's so old. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example, okay? You look at someone like Nixon, who caved. Nixon should not have resigned. He should have stood up and went for it. But Nixon was much younger and not as, he didn't have the kind of money that Biden has. Biden is old as the hills. He's in adult diapers and everything. He has no political aspirations or any aspirations after this. And he's making boatloads of money off of all of these, His
political aspirations is to have to go ahead and bank on a great retirement. That's why he wants 4 more years to collect more in his bank account.
He wants to set up his scummy family. Yeah, he's trying to. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it is. But I think that this is, my husband is a Debbie Downer. He is so discouraged with the American government. He's like, they're not going to do anything to him. He's not going to resign.
Well, you can't force a president to resign. And this guy, see, he spent his whole career in the Congress. The Congress has approval ratings of 8 to 12. Any day of the week, always. So he is, his entire career, Joe Biden has had disapproval ratings as high as Trump's ratings these days, 59% and higher disapproval ratings. And he's gotten elected over and over again, and now he's in the White House. He just doesn't care about such things. And you cannot make
do business. This is a business. This is a business for him. That's all it is. This is for him
criminal
to increase
business.
his bank account. to live off the American people.
See, what you're
And not
doing,
only that,
you know what you're
more than
doing?
anything-
You're trying to manifest it. You're dealing with, look at the way he.
No, I don't want to manifest that.
No, you want to manifest
that.
his resignation.
I just know
it's
that
not going to
the
happen.
child trafficking in America has increased like 80% in America, and that's because the borders are open, and there's a reason. And not only that, Mexico is also talking that the American people are the ones that are selling the guns to the cartel there. So there's some business going on.
But that's been going on
There's
since Fast and Furious with Obama. See,
I know
confuse.
that's been going on for a long time.
Listen,
but it is now.
You're not
now
gonna.
there's
It's not gonna happen. Biden is not gonna resign. They could have they could have him on tape with Ukrainian hookers, and he would not retire or resign. He wouldn't do it. He doesn't care. You're talking about a guy who's criminally insane, who's done nothing but crime for 50 years and gotten away. Can you imagine the things he's done that we don't know about?
He was in Congress since he was 29 years old.
That's
you know
right.
that? 29 years old. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say that because, I mean, that's a very touchy subject for me, is the child trafficking. And
it is. It's
and
awful. I mean, look, but you got to understand, Biden has the largest child sex trafficking ring in the history of the world going on at the southern border.
Exactly.
And he doesn't care. He thinks you're helping these people. He is a mental patient.
No, he's not helping these people. And finally,
but he thinks.
Now,
I'm not saying he thinks. He thinks he's helping these people.
No, he's not helping.
No, I didn't say he's helping. He thinks he is. He's nuts. He thinks he's helping.
Well, he should be thinking about helping the vets that are on the street.
He should.
Okay, vets for money. He should be helping the American people first. And this is, I'm talking about from Latin origin, okay? But my parents came here legally, and my father had to become a pharmacist before he was a doctor in another country, but before he could pass the exam here, he had to be a pharmacist.
Yeah.
So they started from the bottom.
Yeah.
So they don't think it's right that the people who deciding to come through the border are the people that doesn't want to pay for all the legality and all the good paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they're already, criminals.
I don't know. If you come here illegally, Biden's giving you $2,000 a month.
It's already starting. Exactly. Yeah. And then, like I said, the people from Texas could tell you the crime rate here has skyrocketed. Dallas is getting bad. Austin is bad as it is. Houston is getting bad these people are shooting like cartel style, coming out and just shooting like this is America. This can't be going on like this. You know?
The cartels are operating on our side of the border openly and freely without fear.
The cartels are already operating over the border, Brian. That's the thing. You can tell because by the killings, by the droves, and not only that, people doesn't want to sell guns when they come in and they say, okay, I need 6 AR-15s, give me one of each color. I want this. When that happens, people here in Texas are like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not going to.
Yeah.
They're opening their eyes to that because that's the biggest issue. But we'll see what happens. I really want to know what's on tape, and I'm thinking it's him in this conversation because it's doing it like a business. But we'll see what happens. And let's see how liberals react to that.
Okay.
I would love to see how.
Well, very good call. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you'd like to call in, please do. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. See, what I was talking to her about was this. Biden is criminally insane, okay? How do you make him resign? He doesn't care about his kids. Look at what he's done to Hunter. The worst thing you can do to an addict is give them money, and look what he's done. He's given him millions of dollars, an endless stream of cash, and look what he's done to himself with that money. He doesn't care. There's nothing you could use against him. He has no fear of jail for him or his wife. And Jill Biden's up to her eyeballs in all of his criminal activities. She's a mob wife. You're not going to get Biden to resign. Just not going to happen, no matter what. And so far as the child trafficking, Biden is a sicko, okay? He doesn't view these women that are being abused as abuse victims. He thinks they're being helped by finding employment. He's not a normal person. He doesn't see the world like we do. Now, this rally last night was just a beautiful rally. Let's listen to a little bit of our great president here, Donald Trump.
Everyone here tonight is part of the greatest political movement in the history of our country. This is the greatest movement. Look at this. This place is packed.
Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about earlier. The greatest political movement ever. Right? And it is. It is. I like this guy behind him with the Trump Noem sign. You guys like that guy? That's a nice sign, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he got a good seat there, too. And just a great rally. I hope everybody saw the rally. If you didn't, you can go and watch it after my stream. Okay, Right Side Broadcasting still had it up this morning. I watched it there again this morning.
Together, we're going to defeat crooked Joe Biden, the most crooked president in history, the most incompetent president in history. We're going to take back the White House, and we're going to make America great again.
That's right. Oh, man. Let me ask you, do you think Joe Biden will go to President Trump's inauguration? His second inauguration? What do you guys think? Will Joe Biden and Joe Biden go to President Trump's second inauguration? Now, if you've not already done it, please do. Order your Mighty MAGA Lion at MightyMagaLion.com. This lion is available exclusively through me at MightyMagaLion.com. My wife and I have partnered up with Dee, who is one of our moderators in the chat, and I came up with the idea for the lion. Okay, my wife and Dee designed the lion, got the MAGA hat, 45 on the side, beautiful tail. And Dee is in the business where you can get things like this manufactured. So Dee took care of that end of things, and we're partners. And this Mighty MAGA Lion is a great gift any day of the year as we're coming up on Christmas. You want to start ordering yours. They're a limited edition, and they are available nowhere else except through me at MightyMagaLion.com. And they're really cool. I love it. And, Kathy and E came up with the 45 on the side. I thought that was pretty cool. MAGA on the front, and he looks like Trump, and he's tough, just like Trump. So go to MightyMagaLion.com and order yours, all right? MightyMagaLion.com. I keep them right here on my desk. The Mighty MAGA Lion, absolutely. Yeah. Now, I don't... So I was looking at the chat. You all don't think that Biden will go to Trump's second inauguration? Probably not, to make up for Trump not going to his. Now, this clip's a little longer. This is President Trump talking about the current state of our country under this senile, old, corrupt coot Joe Biden who takes bribes.
You already found this out, but Kristi is a warrior for American values. She's tough on
He's talking about Kristi Noem, not Chris Christie, by the way.
China, and unlike other governors, she never locked down South Dakota. You know, they all say, oh, I kept it open. They didn't keep it open. We had some good ones, I'll tell you what.
See this girl behind him here? She's texting her friends. Do you see me behind Trump on TV? Yeah, we see you behind Trump on TV. Yeah.
McMaster, South Carolina was great, and we had some really good ones, but Kristi was just incredible. Well, look at your numbers. You gotta look at those numbers. She does well. 10%. What state's gone up 10%? Tell me another one. Kristi, I'm truly honored to receive your endorsement. Very much so. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kristi. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. I get endorsements, some good, some bad. I get endorsements, some don't mean anything. Hers means a lot. Let me tell you. Everyone here tonight is part of the greatest political movement in the history of our country. This is the greatest movement. Look at this. This place is packed. We come to South Dakota. I said, how many people do you normally have at your Republican Party dinners and events? Oh, a couple of hundred. This is like 6,000, 7,000 people. This is a lot.
Yeah. And you know, when the Fannie Lewis people, when they see these rallies and they see the crowd, do you know what they say? What do you think they say to themselves or to each other when they see the rally? You know what they say? Oh, they're old and white. You know, they're not old, but they're mostly white. It's like, you know, the left have decided that white people should have no voice any longer. For white people to have an opinion is white supremacy and racism now. and they just can't stand that.
Your chairman is great. We'll talk about him in a second. He's done a fantastic job, but this broke your all-time record, and maybe we'll break it again next year. We'll have to do that, maybe we'll break it. We're the only ones that can do it. But we're racing toward a monumental victory 1 year from now. This is so important. There's never been anything like this one. This is, when we did 2016, I said, this is the most important, and I meant it. But this is the most important election we've ever had, because our country's going to hell.
It sure is.
Together, we're going to defeat crooked Joe Biden, the most crooked president in history, the most incompetent president in history. We're going to take back the White House, and we're going to make America great again.
I mean, and look at how confident he is. Here's a guy, he's been arrested 4 times. They got the mugshot, and they don't understand this love that we all have for him. And look at what other person, I was watching Right Side Broadcasting outside the venue before the event earlier in the day. And they went up to this one guy, and he said, I'd vote for him if he's in prison. And hell yeah. And it doesn't compute. They don't understand that. Indictment, just one indictment would end anyone else's career. 4 indictments and a mugshot, and he's more popular than ever.
So 3 years ago, I traveled to South Dakota to deliver a very historic address. It turned out people love that speech. They always say, oh, that was the best one. You know what? I think that beautiful facade. Is there a better place in the world to make a speech, Kristi? I don't think so. Even though you do have the lunatics that would like to chop it up and knock it down. That's not happening. I wouldn't want to be them. Come to South Dakota. Let's do a little number. That is an incredible place. And it's some of the most beautiful pictures I've ever had taken of my family and all of us together. We had a tremendous crowd and incredible. Then we opened it up for the fireworks, remember? And
that was beautiful.
For a few years, you had the fireworks.
That was beautiful.
And then the Democrats closed it down for the fireworks. I said, why would they do that? Well, how beautiful was that? But think of it, and they closed it down. They were worried about fire, but I said, it's all stone and rock. It's hard for rock to catch on fire. No, they just didn't want to do it, but
they just don't want patriotism. That's why they stopped the fireworks.
Mount Rushmore is a very, very special place, incredible place. I stood before you at this majestic period of time and a majestic monument itself, and fiercely defended our great American heroes from the Marxist and communist maniacs who were trying to blast them. They would have blasted that incredible work right off the face of that very beautiful mountain. Yet today, under Joe Biden, the Marxists, fascists, and communists are not just tearing down statues. They're tearing down our economy. They're dismantling our borders. They're destroying our laws. They're looting our middle class, mutilating our children. They're mutilating our children. Who would imagine that somebody would say that, and it's true? Desecrating our Constitution and perverting our...
Yeah, I mean, this is just amazing. And, it's amazing to me, with everything that he's facing, how confident he is. What other man on earth could be facing what he's facing, which is like 1,200 years behind bars, and he's still out there saying, screw you, you're not going to stop me, and I'm still going to fight for the American people. It's really amazing what he's doing. We're living through this very historical movement that we're in right now. This is just a historical movement. We're living through history. There will never be another candidate or president like him, and we're there and living through it right now. And we're very lucky. We're very lucky. The forces he's fighting against are forces no one has had to fight against before. Even Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was part of the Republican establishment. Okay? So he had a base of support among them. Had the media against him and the Democrats against him, but he was still part of the establishment. Here's another clip of the president.
But no matter how hateful and corrupt the communists and criminals we're fighting against may be, you must never forget that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. Belongs to
That's
you.
right. Yeah. I mean, well said. And that's what has them pissed off, because they don't think that this nation belongs to us. They think that it's their country and we are just living in it, right? That's exactly right. It's like Taylor Swift. It's her world. We're just living in it. That is how these monsters think about us.
I would love it.
Oh, let me pull this one up. Here's another clip. It was just a great speech. I can't wait for the football game today.
I would love it if the press would turn around the cameras and show this incredible.
Look at this.
They don't do it.
Okay, now everyone's chanting USA. If we were a cult, wouldn't they be chanting Trump? But USA is what they chant, not Trump. But we're in a cult? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, by the way, those of you that are members to my YouTube channel, listen up, because I'm gonna, after the stream, I'm going to post something for members. Right before the live stream today, it's not there yet. I'll post it. I didn't have time to upload it before the stream, but I'll do it right after the stream. I made a behind-the-scenes video of my studio here to show you my studio and how it works, and no one has ever seen this studio before unless you've been in my house here. But this is a members-only video, and there's a lot of other members exclusive content to members of the YouTube channel, but I will post the behind-the-scenes of my studio here. You'll get to see what it looks like, what I see while I'm streaming and everything. It'll be available exclusively for members after my live stream here, guys. So if you become a member, you can see that and all the other exclusive content for members too. And you also, as members, and not only is there a lot of exclusive content that I add up there for members, you also get your name in a special color green so you stand out, and you have access to all those member emojis that my wife Kathy makes, including the latest, which is the President Trump mugshot emoji. But make sure you guys check out that members-only video. And now, Kristi Noem, boy, who's in better shape physically? Look at her arms. Kristi Noem or Marjorie Taylor Greene? I mean, my goodness. Is she in shape or what? I mean, she works out like mad. Let's go here.
It is my honor to present to you the man in the arena. He is a man of significance. He is the leader, the fighter that our country needs. He has my full and complete endorsement for President of the United States of America. I will do everything I can to help him win and save this country. Ladies and gentlemen, the 45th and the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
I mean, isn't that great? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. Wouldn't you? How many of you would like to be in the shape of Kristi Noem? Yeah, I know. Beauty and brains. I know. Whoever her cosmetic surgeon is, if it came out, he'd be overbooked with business. She's got the best cosmetic surgeon. You know why her cosmetic surgeon is so good? Because she doesn't look like she's had cosmetic work. It looks natural, right? Yeah, sometimes you see people, they've either had too much or bad cosmetic surgery. When somebody has like cosmetic surgery, and somebody goes up to, oh, you had a facelift. Yeah, that's not good cosmetic work. Yeah, she looks good. So whoever her cosmetic surgeon is a master. He's like the Ben Carson of cosmetic surgery. Oh my goodness. So got another clip here of our great president. There he is, looking good, too. Doesn't he look healthy, too? Looks great.
When I'm reelected, we will immediately commence the largest deportation operation in American history. But we cannot wait until 2025 to begin stopping this horrible invasion. This is like a military invasion. They're killing hundreds of thousands of people. Between the drugs that are coming in, the people that are coming in, the crime. That's why tonight I'm calling on congressional Republicans to ban Joe Biden from using a single tax dollar no taxpayer money to release or resettle illegal aliens into the United States, starting on the government funding deadline of September 30th. We take better care of these people, and many of them are criminals, than we take care of our veterans,
That's
our
right.
soldiers.
That's right. I mean, that's, you know, this big part in the beginning, though. Let's play this.
When I'm reelected, we will immediately commence the largest deportation operation in American history.
Can you imagine that? We need it, too. You know, why not? You know, the border issue, before Trump came down the escalator, the border issue was never going to be solved. So what is he going to do first? I think he'll do mass pardons first. He's got to do mass pardons first, his first action. But the next thing I would like to see him do is sign the order to finish the wall. What would you like, after he does the pardons, including for himself, what would you like to see him do next? Huh? Now, this is, of course, getting a lot of press today out of New Mexico. And this governor of New Mexico, what she's doing here is a test. And I know there's a lot of news coverage about this, but what she's doing is a test. She is restricting gun rights big time in New Mexico, where they have both open and concealed carry. And she's giving an executive order as governor stopping it. And she's doing it under the guise of it's a health issue. It's a health emergency, gun deaths. And what she is doing is a test case that the Democrats are running, the gun control nuts are running, to see if they can use health as an excuse for snatching away our Second Amendment gun rights. And they've been toying with that idea for years, but she's actually doing it. Listen.
On any street corner in too many cities in New Mexico, there is someone with a gun sticking out of their waist or their belt. And I'll tell you, if you're a young person, you're not allowed to have a handgun.
Well, it's a crime already.
I got it, but we won't be able to arrest all of them. So imagine, just in a perfect world, if this was upheld, it gives all of these police officers the ability to focus on the real criminals.
Last follow-up.
Yeah. But your point is valid.
You took an oath to the Constitution. Isn't it unconstitutional to say you cannot exercise your carry license?
With one exception, and that is if there's an emergency, and I've declared an emergency for a temporary amount of time, I can invoke additional powers. No constitutional right, in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute. There are restrictions on free speech. There are restrictions on my freedoms.
Okay, so they're using a health emergency. They tried to do this when Obama was president. They tried to use health to get through critical race theory. William, $10 super chat. Thank you, William Livingston, for that. Reagan barely said anything that was out of line, but yet the rhinos had a problem with him back in the day. Oh yeah, they gave Reagan a hard time, but they didn't arrest him. They didn't get a mugshot of him, right? I mean, they fantasized about it, but they did not arrest him. But yeah, a lot of establishment Republicans didn't like him. What Ronald Reagan did that pissed off the establishment were two things. One was more minor. He brought in leaders in his White House from California Republican loyalists, and didn't use Washington insiders. But ending the Cold War, the military-industrial complex donors didn't want to end the Cold War. Okay? So ending the Cold War was something the establishment Republicans didn't want to do. They wanted to keep it going for another 40 years. That's why they're trying to bring it. Well, I guess they kind of have brought it back with Russia, right? So they were pretty pissed at him. Now, this clip is some jerk. I'm not sure who this is, but he was on MSNBC yesterday. And they're talking about Elon Musk. They hate Elon Musk, and they're having all kinds of problems. The ADL's going after him. Look at this guy's face. When this guy says Christian, look at the expression. Have you guys seen this on social media? Look at this guy's facial expression when he says Christian. I've never seen anything like it.
Validating them. Now, you can see this in real time on Twitter, but at ADL, we also track the extremists, and we could see, like from virtue of what they were writing and saying, people like Andrew Torba, who runs Gab, a Christian nationalist, and
you hear that? Yeah, it's like he's got a bad taste in his mouth when he says Christian.
Nationalist, and
let me go back. Watch when he says Christian.
Who runs Gab, a Christian nationalist, and
Christian. You know, Elon Musk. See, they're going after Elon Musk because they have lost control of the narrative since they lost Twitter, and they want to take Twitter away. So now they're accusing him of all kinds of terrible things. And, of course, you know, he's a U.S. citizen, but he's originally from South Africa. I'm sure they're doing all kinds of investigating, trying to find some family connection between him and apartheid that they can use against him. They're in a real panic mode. The reason they're going after Elon Musk is they're even though Trump really isn't on Twitter right now, they're looking at ways to stop Trump with these new polls they're flipping out. This ADL stuff started against Elon Musk after Trump came out at 59% in that Wall Street Journal poll last weekend. And now all of a sudden the ADL's having meltdowns over Elon Musk. They're trying to get control of the narrative through Twitter again, and they believe that Trump's popularity is in large part due that they've lost Twitter. And which, of course, you know, they're always scheming against Trump, but that's just not going to happen. Georgia Peach, $20 super chat. Thank you. Right Side Broadcasting is carrying Trump at the game today at 1:45 p.m. Is that 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time? Thank you, Georgia Peach, for that $20 super chat. I do appreciate that. Yes. Now, you know, I've been talking about this quite a bit over the last couple weeks because it's starting to become part of the narrative with, you know, the southern border's out of control. And what's going on with the southern border, it serves a lot of purposes of the Uniparty, in particular the Democrats. But the main thing is they're trying to turn Texas blue. And the Democrats have been working hard on this for years. If they turn Texas blue, we're screwed. We're done for a long, long time. That would be a hard thing to recover if Texas turns Democrat. And there was a story yesterday or the day before. I can't recall if it was yesterday or the day before. But Biden is talking about forcing Greg Abbott to stop sending illegals around the country, that they want to keep the illegals in Texas because they're trying. What he's doing is interrupting with the Turn Texas Blue campaign. And the southern border's primary purpose, it's not its only purpose, but its primary purpose is to turn Texas into a Democrat state. And watch this. This is from Face the Nation a while back.
Texas is a very, very Republican state. But some people say the demographics are changing, and the demographics alone will make that, it won't be so Republican next time around.
In a couple of presidential cycles, you'll be on election night, you'll be announcing that we're calling the 38 electoral votes of Texas for the Democratic nominee for president. It's changing. It's going to become a purple state and then a blue state because of the demographics, because of the population growth of folks from outside of Texas.
Oh, no, I think that's right. But it's not going to happen on its own. The demographics are changing, but it's going to take a lot of work from Democrats to lay the infrastructure for change. So we're very busy working on that now.
Yeah, by opening up the entire border. That's what they're doing. So that's the primary purpose. Again, it's not the only thing, okay? Not the only thing, but it's the most immediate purpose is to turn Texas blue, because they're viewing Texas as stopping total Democrat control. You know, they can't stop Trump, but if Texas goes blue, they most certainly could stop Trump. You didn't hear the sound on that
53 of the 99 counties is planned.
You should have been able to hear that. I don't. You may have to turn up your volume because the sound certainly is playing. Now, this, I'm not going to play all of the audio I have, but I wanted to share this. See, this is, look at this. Sirens. Trump allies are sounding the alarm about his campaign operations or lack thereof in Iowa. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Look at that. DeSantis war room. So this whole, this story that I was talking about at the beginning of the stream about Trump not having an operation in Iowa originated with the DeSantis team. And then DeSantis, and now NBC is going with the narrative. And this shows you that Ron DeSanctimonious is, at least his campaign, is working in collusion with NBC News, okay, with their false narrative on this, that they continue to push. But, listen, we are on to them. And, there's nothing they're going to do, there's nothing they're going to be able to do to stop us, because we have the majority of the American people on our side. Now, Lori Wilson, this California state rep, who's going Kojak on us here, this gender identity thing, this is really scary. Listen to this.
Know that parents affirm their children. They have since the dawn of time. Typically, it happens when their gender identity expression matches their biological gender. But what happens is when it doesn't, that's when the affirmation starts to wane. And that's what we're dealing with here. Although it's called the TGI Bill, they're not mentioned anywhere in the law. What's mentioned in the law is the child's gender identity and expression and the parent's affirmation of that, whatever it is.
Okay. So this whole thing that children can decide what their gender is and they can hide it from the parents, go around the parents and all this stuff. It used to be they were advocating for kids to get abortions without parents' consent or even notification. Now they'd get the sex change operations because kids think that they're this or that. They should be able to do what they want. Now, when I was a kid, Evel Knievel was very, very popular. Any of you guys grow up loving Evel Knievel? Oh, man, Evel Knievel was like the coolest man alive. And I remember my friend that lived next door had the coolest Halloween costume. I was so jealous. He was dressed up as Evel Knievel for Halloween. And, and he wanted to be Evel Knievel when he grew up. He even had the Evel Knievel dirt bike. Any of you guys remember the Evel Knievel dirt bike? Now, if his name was Ronnie, I remember him so well, Ronnie and his brother Joey. If Ronnie told his parents, I want to be just like Evel Knievel, could he go out and get a motorcycle and start jumping over cars in the neighborhood on a motorcycle without his, because he's identified as Evel Knievel? Of course not, because it's dangerous to him. And so far as this gender, that kids now all of a sudden aren't kids, that they can make these decisions. A kid can go around and under these laws and things they're doing and change their gender and get sex change operations. But in these same states, they still cannot get a tattoo or even their ears pierced without the consent of their parents. So why does a child need parental consent for a tattoo or an ear piercing, which is really minor in comparison, but not for sex change operations? They call it gender affirming care because they don't want you to know exactly what it is. Can anyone make sense of that? It's absurd. Kids are kids, and they need help of their parents to guide them down the right path. And there's so many societal pressures on these things. A lot of these kids are identifying as all kinds of crazy things because it's in right now. I mean, they don't know any alternatives, and in many cases, they can damage themselves for the rest of their lives and affect their future as adults when it comes to having children and other things. And it's a crazy thing. Now, have you seen any of this video of Mike Lindell from his deposition? I'm going to play one clip of it, and then I'll talk about My Pillow. This is amazing. So he's in this deposition, and and the lawyer for the other side, this is in March, you can see the date there, March 8th, 2023, criticizes the My Pillow. He's talking, and Mike Lindell blows his stack because the lawyer criticizes the My Pillow. This is amazing. I love this. Watch this.
Okay, and I'm not asking about the lumpy pillow calls.
No, they're not lumpy pillows. That's not what they call on.
So this lawyer for the other side that's suing Mike Lindell is talking about people calling to complain at My Pillow, and he calls them lumpy pillows. And look at, as soon as he calls the My Pillow a lumpy pillow, Mike Lindell takes great offense to this. And let me tell you, I've got more My Pillows in my house than anyone in this chat room, I promise you. And they are not lumpy. I don't care.
Okay, and I'm not asking about the lumpy pillow calls.
No, they're not lumpy pillows. That's not what they call on. Okay? That when you say lumpy pillows, now you're an asshole. You got that? You're an asshole, is what you are. No, he's an asshole.
No,
he's an ambulance chasing asshole. That's what you are. The lumpy pillows, kiss my ass. Put that in your book. No, they answer anything, any problem customer that wants to reach Mike Lindell. Those are the ones. I want to talk to Mike Lindell. I want to talk to Mike Lindell. They send them to here and they go, or they call about maybe they didn't get their pillow on time because of the FedEx or whatever. Well, we'll cover them even though it could be somebody else's fault. Nobody called because of a lumpy pillow. But good one though.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
What I'm saying.
Obviously, you don't have a My Pillow too. You don't, do you?
What I'm saying is, Mr. Lindell.
Asshole. Go.
And he's right. They are not lumpy. They are the best pillows ever. And let's just talk about them right now. Now, there's some great specials going on with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at mypillow.com on the My Pillows. Now, this one here, these are the Giza Elegance pillows. It's the 20th anniversary limited edition My Pillow. And my wife and I, we have 4 of these. And they have on them the Giza cotton is what the cover is made out of, which is just the best cotton in the world. And they're so fine, and this piping around them. And there's a huge discount on them. The queen size, just $19.98, and normally $69.98. And the king size, just $29.98, normally $79.98, with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And those are great pillows. When my wife was in the hospital last week, she took the My Pillow limited edition pillow with her. And when we came home from the hospital, we washed and dried it. It's like brand new. And they come with a 10-year warranty. Also, the My Pillow 2.0, this one is amazing. Now, the My Pillow 2.0 is buy one, get one free with my promo code Kane at checkout. And the My Pillow 2.0, the material that's made out of, the cover, is made of this new cooling technology that Mike Lindell has developed, which keeps your head and face the perfect temperature all night long. It has inside of it the same patented fill that Mike Lindell invented that's in all of his pillows. But you will be the perfect temperature all night long. You will never again flip your pillow over looking for the cool side. And it's buy one, get one free with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. It's a very, very good deal. You'll love it. And, of course, this pillow here was a really good one. Sometimes we got one of these. You use it behind the neck. But no, the My Pillows are perfect, and I love how Mike Lindell told that guy off. So go to mypillow.com, and remember, you can use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and take advantage of any of the specials you see at mypillow.com, not just the ones that I share with you. But I definitely love that Mike Lindell told that guy off, didn't he? Oh, my goodness. That was just amazing. Now, it came out. Oh, the sheets are awesome, too. The sheets, just so you know, because there's a deal on the sheets. Let me show you before we go. The My Pillow sheets that are 100% Giza Cotton Dream sheets, I have these. They are just $29.98 with my promo code Kane, Kane, and they have all these new colors in here, and they come in every mattress size. So yes. And remember, when you use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, you are supporting all of my content. So please make sure you do that, all right? It's a great way to support the program. Now, Lindsey Graham here, this came out that Fannie was looking to indict Lindsey Graham and others too. But, it shows you, hang in there, caller, hold on. It shows you how out of control Fannie in Fulton County is, that she would even consider indicting a sitting United States Senator like Lindsey Graham. Hey, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brother Brian. It's IB.
Hey, IB, what's up?
Feeling? Hey, how's Kathy feeling?
I guess I haven't talked to her yet this morning because she was sleeping when I started the stream. So, she's still recovering.
All right. Interesting, man. That was really awesome.
Mike Lindell.
The way you handle that guy. The way you handle that guy. This is a listeners. This is a perfect example. I know. I sound like a broken record when I say play on words. You see how the Democrats always have to throw in an insult. It's always just like the guy when he said Christian, and you could see the look in his face, his demeanor. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the Democrats come from always a nasty point. Mm-hmm. I always say pack of wolves or hyenas, they stick together, right? So you see how Mike Lindell cussed him out because he just threw in an unnecessary. This is how they are. My point is, this is how they are. Okay, we have to look at not letting people like a president that sleeps. I shouldn't say sleep, but who knows? But takes shower with his own little girl. Okay, he takes shower with his own girl. Yeah. Imagine that. Is that what you want? Is that the look you want for our country?
The problem you have is you're applying morality to Democrats and right and wrong to Democrats, and they have no morals. They're Democrats.
That teacher. I would think I'm so happy I don't have any no kids in school. I would think you would want to teach the kid how to succeed in life and teach them their ABCs, their algebra, some history. But these people are focused on something that's sexual that should have no place in the school whatsoever. The conversation, they're talking, this lady's talking, that's scenery. That should not have been even taken place, meaning that we shouldn't have to even be going through things like this. Yep. Now, when it comes for our country and where we are, the bottom line, no matter all the conversations and all the things that we discuss between now and the election, we must figure out how are they going to turn these illegals into votes. In New York, they were saying about, I think it was last month, in New York, the union up there, the labor union, want to give some illegal now. Well, they want to give them union labor cards.
And it's not just that. It's not just that. The next census will be here, eventually. And what they're also doing is, by the way, IB, thanks for the call. What they're also doing is not just trying to turn Texas blue. They're trying to increase the population of some areas around the country other than Texas to change the congressional districts, because regardless of legal status, they get counted in the census. Remember, they made a big deal about that for congressional districts and everything. So they're trying to do all kinds of things to mess around with everything. But good call. And by the way, you're all welcome to call in when I'm live streaming. I take live calls. The number's toll free, 1-888-465-2631. Yeah, IB's a great caller, brings up good points. 1-888-465-2631. So look at this. Mike Pence is considering choosing Chris Christie to be his VP. Well, do you think that's a little premature? What's he polling at? 3? I don't even know who these 3% are. And this right here tells you the mentality of Mike Pence, that Mike Pence actually is unembarrassed to tell people that he's picking his VP running mate already, Chris Christie. He actually thinks that he has an opportunity to be president of the United States and pick his nominee or his vice president. This is insanity. I mean, that tells you where Mike Lindell's anger there and him standing up to Donald Trump or for Donald Trump and how we stand for Donald Trump. Look at the mental patients that we're up against, right? Mike Pence thinks he is a viable candidate and will have to make a choice for a vice presidential running mate. These people we're up against do not understand the popularity that President Trump has. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, I'm Jay from Jersey.
Hey, Jay, what's up?
Who don't have any morals.
Yes.
Well, I guess I'm a call for what I said. Heard you say earlier about Trump being a civil rights leader.
Mm-hmm.
That's just.
Oh, Jay from Jersey hung up. I had my hands back here. I didn't hang up on him. Had my hands in my pockets. He disconnected the phone. And I was so excited to hear what he had to say about President Trump. Weren't you guys? Well, you can call back if you'd like. We'll talk to you. So Anna Navarro, who's gotten really full of herself. Listen to this is amazing on The View yesterday.
But frankly, I think we need to find, and we've dealt with this before. I lived in Miami. I was an immigrant in Miami in the 80s. You'll remember when we had the Mariel boat lift.
Yes.
125,000 Cubans came in a matter of 6 months. It puts tremendous stress on a city, on a community, on the social services. They need to be resettled elsewhere.
They
right?
need to spread out.
Okay, so this is, we need breathing room. So this is interesting. So let's go back to Ana Navarro here. Let's see.
6 months. It puts tremendous stress on a city, on a community, on the social services. They need to be resettled elsewhere.
Okay, so Ana Navarro wants to take illegals and have resettlement camps around the country. Isn't that like concentration camps? She wants to resettle these people because they're in New York, where she lives now. She wants to have resettlement camps. Otherwise, that's known as concentration camps because they shouldn't be in New York City. Let's go back to the phones. Oh my goodness, The View, it's all over. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jay from Jersey.
Oh, hey,
Hung
Jay.
up on me.
I did not hang up on you. Your phone disconnected either by your own incompetence or by accident. My hands were in my pocket.
No.
Always the victim, these
Somebody
liberals.
else's hands was on the button
I'm here
at
on
this
you.
time,
Nobody else is here. All I got in here with me is the mighty MAGA lion.
Okay, well, maybe the mighty MAGA lion did it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
An inanimate object hung
okay,
up
let's
on the
go
phone.
with the
Give me
second
a
thing that I was
freaking
going to
break.
say. The second thing I was going to say was, this has to do with Trump's picture that I want to bring up about. He took the picture.
You want the mugshot?
The mugshot. I'm trying to figure out who was the idiot who came up with the slogan, "Never surrender," when he has surrendered 4 times. How dumb is that?
Surrender?
How dumb could that be? Yeah, never surrender. That's
What should he
have?
have done? Should he have done like O.J. Simpson and got in a car without cowlings and
No,
started heading
he
down the
should have
highway?
not came up-
What should he have
should
done?
Not came up with the, he should have not came up with the slogan, "Never surrender."
He's not
But he
excuse
surrendered
me.
4 times.
That's not the surrendering he's talking about.
Yes, but that's what he has done, though. But
So
you know what I just noticed?
you think that he should have been a fugitive from justice?
No, I'm glad he surrendered. He's going to be a criminal.
See,
He's
the
gonna have
reason.
orange
See,
suit
what
on.
you're upset about is they didn't go to him and haul him out of a house in the middle of the night with handcuffs.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
But you know what I've noticed with your show that I'm calling in on today? I just
That it's
found
interesting?
out something. I can say something I've always wanted to call you, an asshole. I can say that
Oh
on
no,
this, right?
yeah, you can say it again. Say it again louder so everybody can hear it.
You are the biggest asshole I have ever
Really? The biggest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because on your show, I didn't cuss on your show. I said hole, which is whole and A.
Mm-hmm.
Turn it around, asshole.
Well, give me an example of something I've done that makes me an a-hole. I'm curious because I don't want to go around being an a-hole.
Yesterday, you had a whole subject on people calling you a racist. You don't even realize you're a racist. Your audience doesn't realize that they're racist from the nasty things that you say. You think you can say whatever you want, and it's not racist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to say it again. Ooh, I'm feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doesn't
That's
faze
about
me.
it. I just wanted.
It doesn't faze me.
I
Why
know
do you
it
think? Why do
doesn't.
you think it doesn't faze me when you call me
You-
an a-hole?
Because you're a tough guy.
No,
you say
because
a lot of good
it's not
tough
it's
stuff.
not true.
But you know another thing I don't understand about you. You know a lot about history.
By the way, Barbara,
can take
$20
something-
super chat. Thank you, Barbara. Barbara says Jay was on the toilet, Brian, when he called it. Yeah, maybe. What were you
Maybe
saying?
Barbara's mother was there. Maybe Barbara's mother was there.
Oh, so you were on
No,
the
her
toilet.
mother was there.
Okay.
No,
okay,
her
what were you
mother
saying?
was there.
Well, you were getting back to me being an a-hole. What were you saying?
I was saying that you know a lot about history.
Yes.
You always running out history stuff, and you're always breaking down stuff. That's what bothers me about you.
Oh.
You can break down the smallest little thing.
but you can't break down how guilty Trump is. You can't seem to see none of that. Why do you put on blinders then? But when a Democrat does something, you can see it. Now, let me
answer that. Let me answer that question.
Okay, go ahead.
The difference between Trump and, say, Biden is Biden's guilty of crimes. Trump has committed no crimes.
Why can't you see why did they indict him 4 times?
Because the prosecutors are criminals.
No, the prosecutors have evidence. That's why
they're bad cops, like that cop that had sex with that girl in the back of his police cruiser. That's all over the news.
Trump going to jail
because the prosecutors are criminals. Because the prosecutors are corrupt.
No, they have evidence. You know history so good. You should know that people have to have evidence.
We're going to find out. No, they don't have to have evidence to bring. They have to. They don't have to have evidence to. Let me finish.
They just convicted the guy the other day. One of Trump supporters.
Excuse me.
Come on.
You don't need evidence to. You do not need evidence to indict him. You need I'm
talking about the one that was found.
Are you talking about Peter Navarro?
The other day.
Oh, Trump's going to pardon Peter Navarro. Don't worry about Peter Navarro. He'll be pardoned.
Trump's not going to get in. Let me explain something to you.
Then what are you worried about? Then what are you worried about? If Trump's not going to win, what are you worried about?
Oh, I'm not worried. I'm not worried because, I don't even want Joe Biden in the White House. But he's the less of two evils.
So you believe? Oh, that's interesting. So you think Joe Biden's evil?
He's evil.
You said he's the lesser of two evils.
Let me just
to say he's the lesser evil means he is evil.
No, well, I don't think he's evil. I just think he's too old. I think both of them are too old.
Too old.
I think Joe's too old to go through this again.
All right, Jay. Appreciate the call. Thanks so much. I'm getting bored with Jay. I want to get back to The View. Let me start this over with The View. Anna Navarro is so in love with herself. She thinks she looks hot because she's had a lot of cosmetic surgery. It's just made her look a younger ugly. Okay. She's still unattractive. She just looks younger and ugly as opposed to being older and ugly, right? But she thinks she looks hot now. No, you're still ugly. You just look like a younger version of your ugly self.
But frankly, I think we need to find, and we've dealt with this before. I lived in Miami. I was an immigrant in Miami in the 80s. You'll remember when we had the Mariel boat lift. Yes. 125,000 Cubans came in a matter of 6 months. It puts tremendous stress on a city, on a community, on the social services. They need to be resettled elsewhere.
They need to spread out. We're this massive country.
And it's only going to...
Oh, my goodness. So Anna Navarro wants relocation concentration camps for illegals. And whoever this girl is, we need more breathing room, which is Adolf Hitler.
Stress on a city, on a community, on the social services. They need to be resettled elsewhere.
They need to spread out. We're this massive country.
And it's only going to get worse with global warming and climate change because people can't live in certain parts of this world.
Really? Where can people not live in this world due to climate change? Can you tell me? Where is that? Oh, my goodness. Anna Navarro, she's in trouble. She's going to be walking that back because what she said is just not going to be tolerated. By the way, when you look at Anna Navarro, remember, she's supposed to be a Republican, and she's very close with Jeb. So when you hear Anna Navarro talk, she's not one of these liberals that you see on the View. She's the Republican establishment, is what she is. But it's easy to be a sanctuary city when you're not offering sanctuary to anyone, isn't it? It certainly is. Okay, now this story here, I don't want to get too deep into this because this is just a nonsense. They're trying, Kristi Noem has them freaked out right now because everyone's talking about her being Trump's running mate. And I retweeted this story, from Mediaite, which is very liberal. Kari Lake tries to muscle Kristi Noem out of Trump Veep contention. I've endorsed him since he even jumped in. So so what the liberals are trying to do now is cause a fight between Kari Lake and Kristi Noem to make Kari Lake jealous of Kristi Noem. Don't worry. Kari Lake's very secure. She's fine. And that's just the way that it is. There's a story here that this is an amazing story. This is from Life News. Look at this. Texas has just had 17 abortions in 2023. So, isn't that something? Texas has just had 17 abortions in 2023. Abortion bans have saved tens of thousands of babies. Isn't this amazing? This is just an amazing story. The Texas abortion ban is working. This is from lifenews.com. The Texas abortion ban is working, and a new report from the Texas Health Department shows just 17 abortions so far in 2023, as the state's pro-life law has saved tens of thousands of babies from abortion. Look at all those lives that are here because of Trump. Remember, President Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. Isn't that something? They've only recorded 17 legal abortions in the first 4 months of 2023, according to a new report. And that is absolutely amazing, and that's probably President Trump's greatest accomplishment, is all the lives that he has saved from these abortions, right? If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is the most MAGA place you will find anywhere. It is. I mean, I love Trump more than anyone could possibly love the man. It's amazing, this community of MAGA people we have on my channel here. And if you subscribe, you can be a part of that. And make sure you all like the video, too. You'll never hear me criticize or disagree with President Trump. I love this guy. And he's the only hope we have to save this country. Now, the Democrats, like Jay calling in from the toilet earlier, he thinks that Trump's too old, he tells us. Thinks that Trump's too old. Well, how do you explain this? Here's Nancy Pelosi, 83. She's going to run for re-election at 83 years old. Really? Are you kidding me? It's not the age that's the issue with Joe Biden, okay? It's his mental stability. It's his mental health. That's the problem, okay? He's out of it. He's on top of the fact that he's a criminal. He's completely out of it. Now, I posted this video yesterday to Twitter. Have you seen this video of Bill Clinton? This is crazy. Bill Clinton, he's walking out on the street and going into a bookstore, and no one seems to recognize him or even care to take a selfie with him or talk to him. I mean, this is insane. Watch
How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
That black guy behind him is his Secret Service agent. Now, the only guy that takes notice of him is the guy that makes the video showing that no one's interested in President Clinton. Watch this.
How you doing, sir?
Why is Clinton wearing pink shoes, by the way? Did he put on Hillary's shoes by accident in the morning? Or is that for breast cancer awareness?
How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
Look at this. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, if I were there, I'd go up and take a selfie with President Clinton, wouldn't you? This guy's two-term president of the United States. His wife ran. He's out on the sidewalk wearing pink shoes to make him stand out, by the way. The pink shoes are not for breast cancer awareness. He wants people to know who he is and stand out. So if he wears pink shoes, people will recognize him. And look at these women here. It look like they're just walking. They're like he's in their way, so they're walking around him. Here's a woman. She's got a kid, and she doesn't even say to her kid, "That's President Bill Clinton." You're going to be able to see a president of the United States. Hold on, I'm getting some text messages here, guys. Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. And then I will get back to Bill Clinton's humiliation. Hold on a second. Hold on. All right. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So let me get back to this, because you would think they would. President of the United States.
How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
So now Bill Clinton realizes no one cares to see him. No one cares to talk to him. People are walking around him. He's got these bright pink shoes on, which would force you to stare at anybody with neon pink shoes that you can't miss him, even if you're looking the other direction. So now what he's going to do, since he's really feeling bad that no one's coming up to him, Mr. President, he's going to stop and stand in the middle of the sidewalk, hoping finally someone will come up to him. Still nobody. And this guy just walks out of the bookstore with his little girl, And when I look, that's President Bill Clinton. This guy was president. Come here, my daughter. Take a picture with the president. This guy doesn't give a shit. He just walks out. The only that's another Secret Service man. He's got some scraggly looking Secret Service men. I mean, this is crazy. Now I'm going to play the whole thing uninterrupted now, so you can watch the whole thing without me talking. But look at how feeble he is when he walks into the bookstore. This is nuts.
How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
Wow. I mean, that's embarrassing. I mean, that I almost feel bad for President Clinton, guys. By the way, notice I don't say former president because I respect the office of president. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Hey, Richie. Oh, my goodness. Poor Bill Clinton. No one recognizes him. No one wants to take a selfie. My goodness.
Well, he's lucky. Be honest with you, Brian. Personally, I'm a person that's not starstruck for any of them. But all that's in my mind when I see Bill Clinton, when I see George Bush, when I see Barack Obama, when I think of how they shunned President Trump in that funeral, where they made him try to embarrass him and made him an outcast. And I wouldn't give any of them the time of day. I would
Richie,
walk on him.
Now, if you saw Bill Clinton, you're there with your wife, you wouldn't say, "Oh, there's President." I would go up with my MAGA. I would say, "Mr. President, can I take a selfie with?" And I have my MAGA hat on and take the picture with my MAGA hat on. Hell yeah,
Brian,
I would. Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're wrong, but the way I feel about it, what they did to the President Trump on that occasion,
I agree.
And Barack Obama knew about all the crap that came down on President. He knew about what Hillary did. I'm sure that Bill Clinton knew what Hillary did with that fake dossier. I'm sure he knew. I mean, his wife. I know they probably don't talk at all, but I'm sure he knew all of that crap. So they all plotted, and Bush too. Plotted against President Trump.
That's
I wouldn't
true.
give any
And they're
of them
still
the time
doing
of
it.
day. I would blow them.
And they're still doing it.
They're going today. It's going at it right now. I mean, it's all of them again. I mean, I just no. And look what the whole crew of them. What President Trump did was show us what they're all about. Not just those three guys, but all of them that are up in Washington, D.C.
By the way, Polly, $20 super. Oh, let me think. Polly just sent a $20 super chat. Thank you. She says, "Love you, Brian. You have stuff on your show that nobody else does. I hope Kathy feels much better." Well, thank you, Polly. All right, go ahead, Richie.
See, I'm going to say this to you, and I hope you don't get mad with me.
Here we go.
I love your show. I love your home
butt.
shows better, and I love your home shows better. I do understand commercials pay the freight, but you're much better on your own shows because you have more time with the callers. If I wasn't watching you on YouTube, I'd go crazy because I'd be sitting there saying, God, and I understand you have to do that. I get it because I wasn't private. That's why I told you yesterday I was in a private sector for almost 7 years before I went to Broward County. And I understand about commercials.
Richie, do you know how long it took? Listen. Radio is supported by commercials, and I have become incredibly commercially viable. And by the way, if you'd like to advertise on my podcast or my YouTube channel, go to BrianCraigShow.com and send me an email, and we'll get back to you. But I can't apologize for being commercially viable.
No. I know that yesterday. You said you had a meeting. You had a meeting for a future commercial because the day before you mentioned that you might have a new sponsor. So I get it. I do get it. And you're a lucky fellow right now. I'm sure most people that watch you are watching you, except for the drive-through people driving to work, watch you on YouTube and on iHeartRadio. Well, not iHeartRadio.
Just because you listen. We have tens of thousands who listen on the radio. We're on 5 radio stations. We have a massive radio audience. Just because obviously I want people to watch on YouTube, But
I do like you on
just
YouTube.
because you watch on YouTube doesn't mean most people do. The show has exploded in popularity like I never thought I'd experience.
I get it. My point being, and I've watched this David from Fort Lauderdale. I forgot his first. Michael David, I think it was. The guy that has all the interviews. I love that guy's show.
Don't know who that is.
The podcast, but the guy that has the guy that came from California with a big podcast. He's got a panel every day. The podcast he does. Michael David or whatever his name is. He's Iranian. You watched him. You talked about it.
Did I? Oh, I had no idea.
But anyway, yeah. What I'm saying is that he even says, and all of them, Megyn Kelly, that radio and television are slowly dying to the podcast business because people.
Well, why do you think they say that? Why do you think they say that?
Whenever they want.
Well,
they can watch you.
Listen, they say that because they're not on it anymore.
I get it, but if I miss your show now, and I see you, I can watch you all day long. I can watch you 20 times a day.
There are
now.
different, obviously,
but
but people listen on different platforms. I'm on every type of platform there is, and people listen on different. Just because you don't listen on the radio doesn't mean hundreds of thousands don't.
Well,
they do.
Yeah, but I'll give you an example. The television audience of Fox. The average age of Fox TV watchers are?
What's the average age?
70.
Yeah.
70.
Yeah.
People are dying, like my age. They're dying. They're the Steve Kanes and me that are watching that, and I don't watch them anymore.
That's not why it's dying. The reason it's dying is because of their insult and bias to the audience. I think you were talking about Patrick Bet-David, by the way. You're talking about Patrick Bet-David.
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who I'm talking about. Yeah. And I really enjoy their shows, and I enjoy your show. I enjoy your show.
Well, yeah. I mean, I started. I've been podcasting for over 10 years, and I started all these other things because you got to be on different platforms, have a bigger reach.
I venture to say that your podcast will outdo your radio station within the next year because you're able to talk to people on YouTube all over the world, and your signal carries you limitless, and you have and your show is
when we do you haven't been on our last couple of cruises, but when we did our last cruise, and by the way, this cruise we're doing is the biggest group we've ever had. It's huge, but I don't usually pay too much attention to this, but I did on the last one because someone had brought it up to me. 3/4 at least, probably a few more than that, were people that either listen to my podcast on a podcast platform or here on YouTube. Yeah. So at least 3/4 of the people on our last cruise were from my online platforms. Absolutely, it's huge.
I wish you had a way.
Richie, and you've known me. You've known me since I first started. When I had no talent and no listeners.
From the very beginning.
Exactly.
I knew you when you were so. Listen, I know you from the time that you used to go to. Steve would have personal appearances, and I assume you looked so uncomfortable at those personal appearances. You'd be off in a corner, keeping your mouth shut.
Yeah, when I used to do that 20-something show and everything. Remember all that?
Yeah, you have totally come out of a shell. Matter of fact, I talked to Barry. You believe it or not, you think sometimes we get into it, but I talked to Barry Vitamins. Barry and I were very close up there. I mean, I used to sit in his office. We used to have conversations. You know what my number one worry was? What is Brian gonna do if anything happens to Steve? And he says Brian will be fine because Brian has the degree as a teacher. I can tell you today that Brian doesn't need the teacher degree any longer, because Brian is on his own. Steve is just like a once-in-a-while plug-in now. I hate to say it. It's his show, entitled and everything else, but it's basically the Brian Craig Show, and everyone knows it.
The reason I started doing the podcast and all these things about, 10, 12 years ago or something. And what had happened was anytime friends of mine would lose their radio jobs. They'd start a podcast or something, and they never had any listeners, and they did it in reverse. So I said, well, it's probably a better idea to start that before you're out of the radio business. And I did, and the podcast and the YouTube channel have grown bigger than I ever thought. I never thought things would be this big. In fact, I get people that I meet listeners all the time when I'm out in public. Okay, listeners come up to me all the time out in public. But in the last year, I have people come up to me when I'm not even in South Florida that come up to me that know me just from YouTube, and it's pretty cool.
Oh, I know your biggest. I can see. I don't know everything, but I would say your biggest influencer on YouTube. I would bet I would guess who it is. Adam the Woo. Adam the Woo. He was like, to me, he was an influence, a big influence on you. Adam the Woo started. He lost a job at Office Depot, I believe it was, and he was living in his van with no money. Today, he's very wealthy. Adam the Woo.
Yeah, I know Adam the Woo.
Listen to him.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah,
I've met him. I don't know him personally. I've met him
you.
a few times. Well,
But that was a big influence.
I'll
You saw
tell
the
you.
money.
Well, you got to make a living. I got a family. I mean, this is what I do for a living.
I agree. You're very smart.
I mean, I'm very lucky that
Brian, you're
I
very
can make a
smart with
living
this.
doing this. But it's like this Mighty Maga Lion, which you should all buy. My wife and I partnered up with Dee from the chat, and we invested money. My wife and I and Dee designed and had these things made, and now we're selling them at MightyMagaLion.com. I mean, I'm very lucky. I make a living doing this, and it's a lot of work though. I get up at 2 a.m. and I go to bed at like 10 o'clock at night, and then I get up at 2 a.m. the next day, and it's every day of the week. So it's a lot of work. It's not as easy as it seems.
I don't know whether you need. I'll make a suggestion to you. I don't know whether. I think on that MAGA Lion, I personally think that if you got licensed through the Trump organization and had an infomercial, and I mean split some of the money with you guys, 3 guys would make a killing. You'd be able to walk away.
Well,
I mean, I really think so.
We have larger plans for the Mighty Maga Lion, but the step one is you guys buying it.
Costs money.
They do.
It costs money,
but the money, the money that when we sell these, okay, as we sell them, the money we're not divvying it up. We're using the money to invest to promote it to larger audiences and to people that don't even know me. So we're that are MAGA. So we're reinvesting all of the money from the Lion.
Yeah, Mike Lindell started with the Pillow for years. He was working these side shows, these fairs and stuff like that. He didn't make the money he made in 1 week when he got an infomercial. And that's what I'm saying. If you could get an infomercial out there,
we have plans with
but
the
I think
Lion.
you'd have to hook up with. Yeah, that's a pretty cool thing you got going there. But I think you'd be able to retire with an infomercial.
I'm not looking to retire. The Pet Rock.
No, but you'd be able to be financially comfortable. Yeah, remember the Pet Rock? I think your thing is a lot better than Pet Rock. Especially now
the thing is, some
people
like, I just can't. Since today it's Saturday, right? I'm doing this live stream Saturday. I've been up since 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And I just can't not work. I just can't not work. I just, and what I do is great. I mean, I'm not, Adam the Woo is pretty amazing. And I talked to him.
Yes.
I was talking to Adam the Woo a couple months ago, and I told him, I said, you are like the great American success story. I said, and he's like, what do you mean? And by the way, he's a Republican, Adam the Woo, although he doesn't talk about it. But Adam, I said, you're the great. I said, look, I remember when you were living in your van, homeless, eating tuna out of a can with crackers, and now look at you. You're loaded. You got a place in Florida, a place in LA. Yeah. I mean, you're set up. You're the great American success story. But Adam the Woo, as much as Adam the Woo is about two or 3 years younger than me, and he looks like he is a little burned out or dealing with some midlife depression. He did, to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what else we got going on?
Got a question of you. I saw on YouTube, I was looking at some guy was saying there was a court decision on the Kerry Lake with the voting in Arizona.
I don't know the
in
latest
favor of
on that,
Kerry Lake.
and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I don't talk about that stuff too much. Okay, and it whatever happens, there's people on it that are going to work it out. But to continue to talk about that, and you guys, a lot of you are going to disagree with me on this, and that's cool. Okay, because there's a lot of controversy about why I don't talk about certain. If you come on the cruise, you get more insider stuff because I can when I'm not talking on air, I can, and I've had a couple of drinks, but and Richie will tell you get to learn a lot of stuff when you're on the cruise that you don't hear here. Okay, some behind the scenes stuff, but what that does, Richie, is discourage voter turnout, and we need to have the largest voter turnout in history in this election, and to continue to talk about that stuff in the past. When it comes down to it, and people are like, "Oh, I'm so, you know what? I got to get up tomorrow, and I don't have time." You discourage and depress our voter turnout, and I don't want. And this election is the last. If Trump doesn't win in 2024, we're screwed.
I want you to do me a favor. When Al calls you, I hope he calls you and gives you enough time because usually you try to. I know you try to cut him off because he says nothing and he's all propaganda. Al the John.
Liberal Al the John.
Yeah, right. But his call, he's so obnoxious because it seems like he talks and doesn't listen to anything. And I'd like you to try to get to him and say, how is your life, other than the fact that you prostitute yourself to the Democratic Party? How is your life? How is your life any better today than it was under President Trump? And I guarantee if you ask any of these people that call up that hate Trump so much personally, is your life better?
Yeah.
How is it better when you go to get
especially
gas?
For him that's on a fixed he's on welfare and disability, so his money's not going as far.
Oh, that's another thing that's got me crazy. You mentioned to me on the radio, and this is a grievance. You said that when you're on YouTube that my pension is a form of welfare, and I got to tell you something. I respect what you do, but if you were I, okay. And there were times where I would go to work. I'd get up at 3:30 in the morning, and I had to drive a 40-foot bus from 5 in the morning, sometimes to 10, 11 at night, because when I first started, there was no federal restrictions on time you could drive. They got it down to 16 hours, I believe it was, and you needed 8 hours in between. But the thing is, I used to work my tail off on that thing.
Listen, Richie, when you listen, okay. What I do is kind of
I work for my pension, is what I'm saying.
When you call me up, okay, and you go after me, I gotta strike back. It's like President Trump doesn't just attack people until they attack him. And then he comes out, if you were at a comedy show and you started heckling the comedian, they're going to tear you down. So, I mean, if you call me up and start criticizing me, I got to strike back. What am I supposed to do? Just sit there and say,
No, I get it. I was wrong the fact that I called you on the radio to talk about what I talked to you this morning about. And while I wasn't trying to criticize you personally, I was trying to criticize the radio and television industry that it hasn't kept up with the times. It hasn't kept up with.
Well, no, I give you an example. Okay, you talk about like the Daily Mail is a newspaper out of England. It's the most, and it is hugely popular through its online publication, but because they report the real news in the Daily Mail, while other newspapers are dying. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these things, Fox News would be doing gangbusters if they didn't betray their core audience.
Yeah, they screwed
That's why
up.
They're dying.
Tucker Carlson was and President Trump turned on him.
Yeah.
You ever notice when President Trump turns on somebody, that's usually the end of their career. Ron DeSantis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
You gotta agree with that. I mean, and this. I got to tell you something. This guy out of New Jersey is really a winner, man. And they put him on all the weekends.
Chris Christie.
I noticed last week. Yeah, I noticed last weekend because I watched Meet the Press, and then I watched the other one, Stephanopoulos.
Yeah.
They all were sitting there so uncomfortable, that it's so uncomfortable last Sunday because they're at wit's end. You could see that it's affecting them, that Trump keeps going up in the polls.
Yeah.
They are panicking, and you could see it. Stephanopoulos didn't know what to say. He tried to, he tried. Oh, the whole thing, you could see the uncomfortable positions, and they're starting to panic right before your eyes. People, you got to just watch it to see the other side, how uncomfortable they are right now.
Yeah.
Because they're losing. They are losing.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's been nice to get
all right, Richie.
two things off my chest.
Okay.
You're a good
all
man.
right. All right. Take care.
And I hope
Take
your
care.
wife's okay, by the way.
I do too. I have not. My wife was asleep when I got up, and she was asleep when I started the stream. So I haven't seen her in the chat. So, she had a
Make
rough
sure
surgery.
she's okay, please.
Now she's
make
okay.
sure
She's just
all right,
sleeping
all
in.
right?
All right. Take care. Take care. Yeah, our cat. I've been telling you guys, our cat Luna's been in heat. She kind of kept us up. So Kathy was up late last night because the cats were, in heat. Now, I was talking earlier about how CNN spent the whole day. I don't know what this woman's name is. Do you know what her name is? I've forgotten her name. If you know in the chat, let me know. But this was CNN a couple days ago. Remember I played that clip earlier of Dana Bash bashing Biden, right? After that poll came out. Hey, caller, hold on there. Let me play this clip real quick, then I'll get to you. But listen to that. This is CNN. Oh, hold on. I turned the volume down. Let me turn it up. Listen to this.
Oof, problematic new polling numbers out this morning for President Biden. The CNN poll finds his approval rating sinking to just 39%. 58% say Biden's policies have made economic conditions worse.
58% of Americans.
That's unheard of to hear on CNN. They're dedicated to be anti-Biden now on CNN, which is awesome for us. Hey, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Steve. Hey, Brian. This is Rob from California.
Hey, Rob. What's up?
About an hour ago, I'm behind on your broadcast. But about an hour ago, you had a lady saying about that she was saying that about Biden, about the child trafficking, and
yes,
yeah. Anyway, Biden doesn't think he's helping the people. Okay, he doesn't care about the people.
That's correct.
He's trying to get money. He's trying to get money for his family. He doesn't care about people at all, either Americans or any other country. That's why this mess this is why the mess is at the border.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think he cares about his family. I think he's got a few people he cares about. He doesn't care about Hunter. Look at how much money he's given Hunter, who's got every addiction you can possibly have.
You're right. I think it's just about the money. I mean, it's like all about.
Well, if you see, sometimes when you see Biden, he's a predator. Like every once in a while, you'll see he'll spot a woman or a girl in a room at an event he's at. And he's attracted to her, so he goes up and rubs up against her and everything. He's a pervert and he's a predator. And so far as all this trafficking at the southern border, he thinks that those people are being helped into a better life. They'd be in Guatemala if they weren't here, and he doesn't think like a normal person. He has no empathy for others. Joe Biden.
There's a meme of Biden that came out a couple of years ago that where he's sitting at a desk and then you see these two hands pop up on his shoulders, and you see another Biden pull up behind him, smelling his hair. Mm-hmm. And I love that meme. And also, speaking about memes, my favorite meme regarding the Trump mugshot.
Yeah.
It has a wanted post. It has a wanted poster. It looks like an old Western wanted poster. And it said wanted at the top, and then below the picture for president.
Yeah.
That's my favorite meme of the mugshot.
Okay. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. All right, take care. Appreciate the call. By the way, you're all welcome to call in. The number is toll-free. Same number I use all during the week, 1-888-465-6770. 2631. So let's check in and see how things are doing in Ukraine. I'm going to show you this video. This is the daughter of the head of the draft board of Ukraine. Hold on a second. Let me mute that. She is on vacation in Miami and in Los Angeles. Look at this. On our tax dollars. She's on a yacht in that's Miami. I haven't even been out on a boat like this in Miami. And here she is with all that money that we're sending over. That's LA. Just that's the head of the Ukrainian draft board. They have so much money over there that his daughter can come over here and just have vacations that you guys probably are not having in LA. No, probably not. And then, of course, I always check in to find out how things are going in Ukraine with Pavlo from Ukraine on YouTube. And he's got this new video, Life in Odessa. He goes with his daughter or his girlfriend. They go to a beach resort in Odessa, Ukraine. And everyone's out on the beach having a good time and just perfect. They don't have any problems going on. And if you go there, it's Pavlo in Ukraine. And I have nothing against Pavlo. He's a good guy doing his thing. But if you want to find out what's really going on in Ukraine, go to his YouTube channel. This beach resort he's at, I watched this whole video the other night. It looks like Fort Lauderdale or Miami, Florida. You know, places I go to here in Florida. It looks like a Florida beach town, and it's like nothing's going on there. So go check it out, and then you can find out what's really going on in Ukraine. And, of course, if you've not done it already, go to MightyMagaLion.com and order yours. And these are available exclusively through us at MightyMagaLion.com. And I see Dee's in the chat. My wife and I, that's who we partnered up with on this. It's just beautiful. 45 on the side, MAGA right there. And I know a lot of you already ordered, but if you haven't, order yours. And we're in the Christmas shopping season now. So go to MightyMagaLion.com and order yours. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Steve from Chicago.
Hey, Steve, what's up?
So, that woman, Navarro, she came in the Mario boat lift. Did you see Scarface?
I did, yes.
Yeah, wasn't that first place they went to? Wasn't that like the same type of place she was talking about?
It turned. I don't know if she came here on the boat lift. Let me look that up. She talked about the Mario boat lift. Let me Google that. I should have done that before, but the Mario boat lift, what it brought was a lot of crime, not just the whole era of Miami Vice. Let's see here. She said she's Nicaraguan. She's not Cuban. Her biography, this is her Wikipedia. I just pulled it up. Ana Navarro is a Nicaraguan American political strategist and commentator. So it says here.
Plain old liar.
She says born in 1971 to a landowning family in Nicaragua. Let me go back to that. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's go back, because did she say she's from Cuba, or did she imply it? Let me go back and find that video, and then we'll...
She said she came in the Mario boat lift.
I don't know if she said that, but I think she implied... I'm scrolling back to find the video. Okay, hold on. I got it. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Let's listen to her. Hold on. This is Ana Navarro from The View. Let's go.
But frankly, I think we need to find, and we've dealt with this before. I lived in Miami. I was an immigrant in Miami in the 80s. You'll remember when we had the Mariel boat lift. Yes. 125,000 Cubans came.
Okay, so she's implying that she's Cuban and from the boat lift, but she's not. She's from a wealthy family from Nicaragua.
So she's just a liar.
Yeah, it says here, look at this. So this is Ana Navarro. I thought she was Cuban. She's Nicaraguan, born in 1971 to a landowning family in Nicaragua. She's, her father was the Minister of Agriculture in Nicaragua, and she and her family moved to the United States in 1980 because of political turmoil. Her father stayed behind to fight the Contras, but she's rich, at least by those standards. And by the way, she attended the School of the Sacred Heart, a private Catholic college day school for girls in Coconut Grove. Coconut Grove, that's an upscale, wealthy area of Miami, and she went to private school. So, no, she is, she's not Cuban. Yeah, you're right. She's a liar. I thought for years she was Cuban. So she's been lying. Yeah, you're right.
Well, the Spanish eyes, she's got Spanish eyes, so she can pass for anything that's Hispanic Latin area. And AOC does the same thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, she's from the rich area of like New York. She's not from the poor area.
Yeah.
And she makes like, it's the same thing. They're all liars, man. I hate liars.
Well, that would be
do?
Democrats.
And I left the message just to tell you, I thank God for healing Kathy, and
well, thank you.
Also, she's feeling much better. And also, if you were an a-hole, then Kathy wouldn't have married you. I think her outlook on people is excellent, and she married you.
Yeah.
So you're not an a-hole.
Well, listen. I gotta give Jay from Jersey. He called me an a-hole. He used the whole language a couple of times. When he's talking about a-holes, at least Jay from Jersey, on a very rare instance, is talking about a subject he's an expert on, being one himself, right? So we got to give him credit for that.
Yes, I agree totally. By the way, I always loved your show. I've always loved your show ever since I started listening to you, and it hasn't been too long. It's been maybe a year and a half. It's when you first predicted Marjorie Taylor Greene would be the vice president for the running mate for Trump.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to go down now. I don't know what kind of deals. We don't know what kind of deals Donald Trump makes. He's a businessman.
Well, we know whatever deal he makes, it'll be the right one. We got to trust him.
Yeah, of course. Everything he does is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also glad people all over, especially in the black community, are starting to realize it. And I think he's going to get. I don't know. I think he's going to get. They predict 20% of the black community is going to switch to Trump.
Well, then the Republicans are done. If Trump gets 20% or more of the black vote, they're done.
Well, yeah, and I think it's going to be more. I really do.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, good. Hey, listen, thanks for the call.
Well, you take care.
All right, take care.
Give my love to Kathy, and my prayers have been answered.
I will.
Thank
all right.
you.
All right. Take care. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Great call. Yeah, you're all welcome to call in. Now, of course, this afternoon, President Trump, this is from the AP, Trump, DeSantis, and other 2024 GOP prospects vie for attention at the Iowa State football game. Donald Trump will cross paths with several Republican rivals, this is today, when he attends Iowa's in-state college football grudge match, one of the former president's few visits so far to the state that holds the first nominating caucus. Trump will wade into the state's largest sports crowds at Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, where Iowa State University will host the University of Iowa. Also planning to be at the game, DeSantis and several lesser-known candidates. I'm not sure where we're going to be able to see that. I don't know. But I know the crowd's going to go wild for Trump. So but are they going to? Is DeSantis going to get booed? I hope so. At the Iowa State Fair, he got booed. We'll find out what happens. But whatever reaction these grifters and wannabes receive at the football game, it'll be nothing compared to the reaction of love and support that President Trump is going to get from the crowd at this game. And I'm looking forward to that. I don't know where it can be watched. Is it going to be? Let me see if they tell me in this article. Let me scroll through it real quick. It doesn't say. I don't know. Does anyone know where to watch that game? I don't know, but I do know this. I want to thank all of you guys for watching the stream. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Everyone else, like the video. And if you've not already done this and been subscribed even for a long time, make sure you click that notification bell, because I do live streams all the time. Sometimes just driving around in the car, and sometimes randomly here from my home studio. And if something big happens today at this great football game with President Trump, and it's so exciting, I may just pop in on a live stream to talk about that. So click that notification bell, and you'll get a notification when I go live. My name's Brian Craig. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time.